Good morning. I'd like to thank you, all of you, for being here today, and we are going to start our meeting of today. First of all, I would like to invite Professor Adnei Melges de Andrade, our Executive Vice Secretary for International Relations, to take place at the table. I would like to invite also Dr. Bailin Lee, Vice Provost for International Affairs from North Carolina State University. And also Dr. Colin Grant, Vice Chancellor for International Relations from Surrey University. I would like to invite also Mr. William Pope, General Counsel from the United States of America in São Paulo. And Dr. Cornelia Miller, Adjunct Director for Science and Innovation from the British Consulate. I would like to thank the presence of Professor Marco Antonio Zago, our Provost for Research, and Professor Arlindo Felipe, our Vice Provost for Graduate Programs. Okay. I would like to thank also the presence of some directors of our faculties and all the professors and researchers from our 3 universities. And we will start the meeting with Professor Adnei, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning, all my friends and colleagues. We are very happy to start this session, which marks for this university, and I'm sure that for the University of Surrey and North Carolina State University, a very important point in the academic activities. I'd like to thank the presence of all the components of this table, which honors us. Bill, if I can call. Cornelia, if I can call. We are all friends, so we can call us for given names. Professor Zago, which is supporting this activity, which is mostly direct to the research activities, but of course we are going to do all the spectra of academic exchange, undergrad students, postgraduate students. So, because we have in our hands today a very important tool. I can't say it's a new tool, but it's a powerful tool. It is something that we are dealing with high intensity. Proof of this intensity is the size of the delegations we received from both universities. We, if not by some small problems of getting visas to Brazil, we should have 46 of our University of Surrey and North Carolina State University colleagues. Let me register the presence of Professor Maria Arminda, our Provost for Culture and Extension, which honors us with her presence. Thank you, Maria Arminda. Today, let me tell you, this is the formal opening, but as a matter of fact, we had a welcome reception to our colleagues from both universities yesterday, which started to know a little bit with more contact our campus. During this 3 to 4 days, 3 days and a half of activities, we'll be visiting other campuses of the university. Tomorrow we'll go to São Carlos. a part of the group will go to the campus of Pirassununga. Later on, when we present our universities, you have a general view of what is University of São Paulo, University of Surrey, and North Carolina State University. This afternoon, we'll have perhaps the core of this 3-day meeting, when we put together in different rooms our colleagues from the different areas of knowledge, so as to matchmaking. That's what we need to do. We have to announce today that we'll be releasing, if you see at the screen, we have 5 proposals for our logo. This will be judged during these days by a committee composed of colleagues from each university. And we have, as most of you know, we have set up a set of 18 projects, 6 funded by each university, to priming the research activities by giving the colleagues who have their projects approved the possibility of visiting the partners in either of the 2 partners, and with some funds for one of his PhD students to pass a few months, perhaps 4 to 6 months, depending on related funds. And we believe that this feature will put, by means of having students working in the counterpart laboratories, the researchers in joint projects. We have a strong hope that in short time we'll have publications of USP with NCSU and the University of Surrey colleagues. So we have a big expectation for this new project. So to tell you something about the expectations of the University of Surrey, I'd like to invite Professor Colin Grant to give us a word on this subject.
Thank you. Bon dia. Good morning, everyone. I'm just taking in the sight of 70 colleagues in this room. This is a truly remarkable moment. And as my good friend and colleague, Professor Adney, has just said, the expectations are sky high, so there is no pressure whatsoever on any of us. This is a unique partnership, a partnership founded in profound levels of trust across these 3 universities in all disciplines. We have colleagues here today from music, from political science, through the engineering disciplines, bioscience, management, and so on and so forth. That's what we stand for. We stand for a holistic understanding of international relations, student mobility, absolutely, faculty and staff mobility, big projects, small, wherever there is excellence. And we are extremely innovative in the way in which we've set about this partnership. So I look forward to the discussions to come, to the presentations, to deepening the work we've already embarked upon with all of you, from Surrey, from NC State, and from USP. And I wish to thank all of you for having made the effort to come here today. For me personally, it's an enormous privilege to share this stage with my esteemed friends and colleagues, and to share this space with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Colin. Professor Balin.
I also like to join my colleagues to congratulate all of us for this a great gathering of faculty and administrator for 3 strategic partners. This is UPGN. It's basically a focused strategic partnership network for us to do research, faculty exchange, student mobility, and perhaps some technology transfer, economic development. So we're trying to cover all that. From NC State, we have 18 delegations from multiple disciplines. So this is a great opportunity for us to get to know each other, develop a joint research project, as Edna said, we have now put all the 3 university funding together, trying to fund a joint research project. So we're going to make an announcement soon to extend the data line a little bit. So for some of us get to know each other better, so we can develop a much better proposal. As you know, university collaboration is not just between, it's among administrator, faculty are most important. So we're looking forward this afternoon for a very successful, productive collaboration discussion so we can move this partnership forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. May I ask Professor Zago to give us a few words about the importance of this network?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the University of São Paulo. I wish to greet Professor Bailun Lee and Professor Colin Grant as representative of the 2 delegations, and also wish to greet the representatives of the consular body here present, and our provost colleague, Professor Maria Arminda Arruda. First of all, I wish to compliment Professor Adney and all the people working at the International Relations in the University of São Paulo for putting together this meeting. I think internationalization is the word of the moment in all universities in the world. But what we should have present is that internationalization is not something in itself. It is the consequence of activities that the universities develop between themselves. So we will not have internationalization as a thing in itself, but we will have research in collaboration. We will have exchange of undergraduate students. We will have collaboration and exchange of graduate students. We will have common research projects. And that what I think one of these is the main focus of this meeting, is to establish collaboration in research from which we will develop exchange of a graduate student, from which we will develop exchange of undergraduate students. So this is the way of transforming a world, which is a fashion world at the moment, internationalization, into something that is really concrete. So I wish to congratulate with people who organized this from this side and from the United States and from the UK. And I think we need really have a very open mind in relation to this collaboration in science and in to involve all the aspects of knowledge. I know that in a partnership, all the parts are really important, but I would like to remember you the logo of USP, which is Scientia Vinces, meaning the knowledge will prevail. I think this is a good target for this collaboration. And from what knowledge are we speaking? Of all the knowledge. Either experimental science, culture, arts. That, I think, is the target of this collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Zag. I would like to register as well the presence of our Deputy Provost for Postgraduate Studies, Professor Arlindo Felipe, and our Deputy Provost for Research, Professor Belmira. Thank you. So, may we listen to some words of our esteemed General Counsel from USA.
Good morning. And in first place, please let me thank Professor Andrade and USP for the invitation to be here today. It's a real pleasure and it's a real honor to have the chance to be present at such an important gathering between these three great universities on the launch of this initiative. Quite frankly, this is a really momentous period in particularly the relations between the United States and Brazil in this area, but just a moment, obviously, as many of you know, of expansion and education worldwide as there's a great demand for greater collaboration between universities and governments trying to promote that. Certainly, for the U.S. government, this is a great priority with our relationship with Brazil. President Obama and President Rousseff will be meeting on April 9th in Washington, and one of the most important topics, one of the top priorities on their agenda is to talk about education and to talk about partnerships between U.S. and Brazilian institutions. So this network and these types of collaborations that are going to be occurring through it are exactly the type of initiatives that our two governments are trying to promote. And to have three great schools and to have a partnership with the University of Surrey and to be able to advance collaboration across the areas of academic study is really, really important. One of the initiatives that we've been trying to support a lot is Science Without Borders, and that's obviously extremely important to promote science and technology and engineering and mathematics studies, but the opportunity to support that type of exchange in a broader range of academia is also extremely valuable. So we're honored. We congratulate you and congratulate USP for convoking this group together. We're honored to have the chance to support it, and we look forward to seeing great successes and great collaborations come out of this effort. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Consul General William Pop. Now, if let me tell you that we received the excuses of John Dodrell, the Consul General of the United Kingdom. The fact is that today at the consulate there are, I think, over 10 representatives of the top universities in the UK to be that was planned to be a point of contact between Brazilian universities and UK university with respect to the Brazilian project Science Without Borders. So he couldn't come, but we have here Cornelia Müller, who is Deputy Director of Science and Innovation of the British Council, that we wish to listen to some words about the importance of our UPGN meeting. Please, Cornelia.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Andrade, for the invitation. I would just like to reiterate mostly what my colleague here has said as well, that for the British government, the relations with Brazil in science and innovation are very, very important. We strongly support any collaborations between Brazil and the UK. As Professor Andrade has said, we have more than 20 representatives over this week from the UK to learn more about possibilities of collaboration with Brazil. And here, being at the UPGN opening meeting is a great honor, and we think it's a great initiative, a great opportunity to see truly international collaboration, because it's not only bilateral, it's trilateral, and it's great to see such collaborations happening, and we truly hope that you will have very successful projects and exchanges, and basically we're just here to support these kind of collaborations. So I mean, as Professor Andrade said, I work for the Science and Innovation Department at the consulate, and we do support these kind of collaborations So we would be very happy to see what's happening, how the collaboration is evolving, and also to help you maybe extend this collaboration. So thank you very much for inviting us, for having us here today.
So, I would like to register the presence of several deans of our 42 colleges today. We have our Secretary General present, which helps us to to show the importance of this meeting to University of São Paulo. And now I think it's time to start a little bit more in-depth knowledge of our three universities. So, as we have people from the University of São Paulo, University of Surrey, and North Carolina State University, I will ask my colleagues to do a presentation, a general presentation of each one, so as we can start our knowledge, general knowledge, very early. So I thank you very much for the British Council, for the General Consulate of the United States, Professor Zago, and my colleagues in this endeavor. And now I propose we go to the... May I ask in an informal way that you do the first presentation, Colin? Sure. Thank you. And then we will pick our turns in the sequence. Thank you.
I would like to thank also the presence of Mr. Eric Klug, Director of the British Council in São Paulo. And we will start the presentations of the three universities. First, Professor Colin Grant from Surrey University. We will make a presentation of the UPGN project and Surrey University. Yeah. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to give you an overview of the University of Surrey. And I'll pause straight away for thought, because last week I gave a number of presentations at a major British Council event and a UK Leadership Foundation event, all of which required me to speak on behalf of three universities. So today I feel slightly less comfortable representing solely the University of Surrey. And I've sought to correct that by inserting the fact that the University of Surrey is a UGPN founder member. So I'm here representing Surrey, but also the network, which feels just about right, actually. Perhaps another preliminary comment. I remember at the launch event, the Higher Education Minister of the UK, David Willits, had some difficulty in getting his tongue around the full extensive name of, thank you very much, of the network, University Global Partnership Network. And the thought did occur to me that perhaps we had not chosen the most poetic possible title or acronym. However, yesterday, on a visit to the School of Public Health, the University of São Paulo. I heard my great colleague Aloysio Segurado refer to the fact that we were, in Portuguese, uma delegação da UGPN. And suddenly, the UGPN acquired this poetic status. We are the UGPN. It sounds better. Okay. A word or two briefly then about the University of Surrey. Its origins go back to the 1960s, a time of progressive enlightenment, investment in a range of new universities in the UK. Some of them are very familiar to you: Sussex, Essex, of course, the University of Surrey. And what they had in common was a shared mission to be research-intensive institutions, effectively to help democratize higher education in the UK. Today, we have approximately 15,000 students, roughly two-thirds studying on undergraduate programs, the other third on master's and PhD programs. Our student community is one of our unique strengths, drawn from 140 countries. Guildford, the home campus of the University of Surrey, is 37.5 minutes from Waterloo Station. I know this fact because I travel daily from Waterloo to Guildford and back again when I'm allowed home. Surrey is also in the top 25% for the quality of its undergraduate student intake, and we're very proud of the quality of the lifeblood of the institution, our students. We have 2,500 members of staff, and if we were to distill the key characteristics, the USPs, the unique selling points of the University of Surrey, I guess we'd say it's our graduate employability record. We're simply the best in the UK. Our core research strengths, many of which are represented here today, and I'll say a little more about them shortly. And dare I say it, internationalization. I think this is truly a unique gathering, almost improbable. And yet here we are combusting around a whole series of different disciplines. It's a great privilege to be part of this. I mentioned the fact that we draw a student body from 140 different countries. This is the breakdown, and a caveat is required straight away. The Americas slice is vanishingly small at this point, but we expect this to change. Surrey is already one of the leading universities in Science Without Borders. It has a very strong partnership, of course, with NC State and with USP, and we expect this slice to grow in size as we continue to invest in this very strong partnership. I think something Adney and Bailey and I have in common is the conviction, very strong conviction, that internationalization is not an appendage, it's not a rhetorical flourish, it's real, it's concrete, and it means something unusual. It means that we work as a network in a way that means we are greater than the sum of our parts. And this means that the UGPN is core activity, it's core business, and infuses everything we do in every aspect of university life. It means that we have no hesitation in committing to a multilateral program of concrete activity in teaching, in research, in knowledge transfer, in fundraising, in mobility, and more besides. I'd like to share with you one or two examples of the distance travelled in actually a very compressed timescale. Bear in mind that we formalised ourselves as a network last September. So in a period of about 9 months, we've come a huge way. Already we have something like 10 USP PhD students who have come to the University of Surrey with Banco Santander funding. We've embedded Portuguese in our languages and English literature department as part of our global graduate program, with support from the MEC, from your Ministry of Higher Education, and the Brazilian Embassy in London. Approximately 40 Surrey faculty have now been awarded Surrey, FAPESP Surrey, or Santander grants to deepen their research collaborations with USP. In 2013, we will witness our second NCSU summer school in Guildford. Our research bid activity, big bids and small bids, is growing. And indeed, we've seen the first UGPN co-authored papers in chronobiology the work of Melissa Ulloa with Deborah Skeen. It was a project funded by Banco Santander, and Melissa's work was on sleep deprivation, I think, in long-distance lorry drivers in Brazil. These are seriously long distances and seriously deep sleep deprivation. And the other co-author publication in neuropsychology. And yesterday we had the privilege of visiting the psychiatry unit of the School of Medicine of this great university. Innovation doesn't stop at that. We introduced a dual MA with NCSU in politics, European and international politics, 2 years ago. And a final example, later this year, we'll be welcoming 30 USP healthcare students from the School of Public Health to undergo SURI training, and this is in the area of gerontological care. I'm sure I've forgotten at least 17 discrete examples. Beyond that, SURI has other strategic partnerships, as I'm sure NCSU and USP will also have. And if there are two examples I would identify, they'd be China and India. We have a SURI International Institute, which is in collaboration with the Dongbei University of Finance and Economics in Dalian, Liaoning Province, China. We now have over 1,000 students in this joint venture studying for programs in international tourism management and international business management. And there have been 20 master's graduates so far, and something in the region of 80 or 90, I think, graduates at an undergraduate level from this program. In India, SURI formed a coalition of 4 universities to develop the Southeast India Partnership Network, SE-IPNET. It will become poetic in due course, I'm sure. And our focus here is on building capacity in the natural and theoretical sciences at IISER Pune, near Mumbai. And I remember clearly, if I could share an anecdote, looking at the map and thinking Pune is very, very close indeed to Mumbai. And indeed, it takes 1 hour to travel from Pune to Mumbai, and then a further 2 hours to get from the outskirts of Mumbai to downtown Mumbai. That was a challenging journey. So internationalization is part of our DNA. It's hardwired. The University of Surrey comprises 4 faculties, all of which are represented here today. The Faculty of Arts and Human Sciences, with a range of disciplines from dance, theatre, music, sound recording, literature, translation, politics, psychology, sociology, I think. The Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences, with a range of expertise in all the core engineering disciplines, electronic engineering, aerospace engineering, materials, chemical, and more besides. And of course, the pure sciences, physics, mathematics, chemistry. The Faculty of Health and Medical Sciences, healthcare, real strength and systems biology, chronobiology, and zoonotic disease. And by no means least, the Faculty of Business, Economics and Law, with strengths in business economics and law, and in particular, tourism, hospitality, accounting, and more besides. So I hope that indicates that we are a comprehensive research-led university. This was our mission when we were established in the 1960s. And we have a very strong international ethos, both in terms of the composition of our student body, in terms of our joint ventures overseas, and of course, in terms of the UGPN. On an approximately 7-year cycle, universities in the UK undergo a process of self-flagellation. It's called the Research Assessment Exercise, and it has become the Research Excellence Framework. The exercise for which data is currently available is the 2008 exercise. And this is a national evaluation. And according to the 2008 exercise, 88% of Surrey's research was rated world-class or of international quality. We're particularly proud of our annual doctoral completion rates. We've been ranked at 4th in the UK. Our research grants and contracts with public, private, European, international and national agencies have risen by over 35% since 2008. We've been awarded many millions in knowledge transfer accounts by the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, EPSRC. and I think more than 2 doctoral training centres from the EPSRC and the ESRC worth 12 to 15 million pounds. What the UGPN brings to this already strong research profile is additional leverage. It seems rather self-evident, but it probably does need to be stated that the UGPN does allow that additional leverage. We've been very strategic about the conception of partnership. So we're looking for the co-authored papers, of course. We're looking for trilateral research bids, a joint fundraising activity, leveraging FAPESP support, and there will be a deal signed between FAPESP, the São Paulo State Funding Council, and NC State later this week, and multilateral grants. Again, it really does go without saying, so I guess I'll say it, that excellence is critical to the research mission. Defining excellence is notoriously difficult, but there are a number of areas, I think, in Surrey that would justifiably be defined as truly excellent. And these are examples, and instantly colleagues will recognise that I perhaps haven't mentioned their subject area. I do apologise. They're embedded there somewhere in the spirit of interdisciplinarity. So these are some examples. Water research is one. And I know there'll be some collaboration on water in the course of the coming days. Electronic engineering, a major strength at the University of Surrey. Sociology, with a particular strength in methods. Tourism and hospitality, already mentioned. I think number 1 in Europe, number 3 or 4 in the world. Jane will correct me if I'm wrong. Aerospace and general engineering, and I'll say a little bit more about aerospace engineering in a moment. Subjects allied to medicine. I think we were ranked 2nd nationally in the research assessment exercise for our areas allied to medicine. Systems biology, sleep, zoonotic disease. And of course, a multifaceted performing arts program. It's worth saying that Surrey's reputation, probably nationally, rests on its engineering, biosciences axis. But actually, 2 of the 4 faculties are social sciences and humanities. And for a long period in the UK, all dance PhDs have been awarded by the University of Surrey. So there is a particular strength also in the performing arts. We also seek excellence in our commercial partnerships, something we have in common with NC State and with USP, with EADS Astrium, the parent company of Airbus, with Rolls-Royce, National Physical Laboratory, Merck, Thames Water, just to give you a flavour of the kinds of commercial partnerships we have. I mentioned a particular strength in aerospace engineering, and it's probably worth drilling down a little to explain what happened with the spin-out company Surrey Satellite Technology Limited, SSTL. In December 2008, the Surrey SSTL shareholding was sold to EADS Astrium, this parent company of Airbus, for something in the region, I think, of 40 million euros. This was, of course, a groundbreaking deal for the university and for the UK higher education sector, and justifiably the source of much envy and jealousy, and long may it continue across the United Kingdom. It was the highest ever cash disposal of any UK university spin-out. I think the faculty and the university are justifiably proud of this achievement. We continue to enjoy a very close relationship with the EADS Astrium. I think it's important. This wasn't a sale and the end of the relationship. It was a sale and the beginning of a research symbiosis with the EADS Astrium, 3 million and counting in research contracts since completion of that sale. And SSTL, as you can see, was subsequently selected for the construction of 14 Galileo navigation satellites by the European Commission, a contract valued in excess of £200 million. You can tell from the image to the top right, I think, judging by the sartorial style, that work on this project probably began in the early 1980s. I'm guessing from the hairstyles. In order to achieve excellence in research, in teaching, in innovation, in enterprise, we need an appropriate campus. And of course, our campus is vanishingly small compared with the vastness of the University of São Paulo, in which I confess, been lost on 3 separate occasions and felt very, very chastened in having to ask for advice. We opened world-class sports facilities, the Surrey Sports Park. Perhaps we could think about a UGPN football, soccer team or baseball team. It's a strange form of cricket, for those who don't know. We opened these world-class facilities in spring 2010. A new Guildford School of Acting facility, GSA, building opened in January 2010. A new Performing Arts Centre was completed in 2011, and it was in this centre that we held our inaugural launch event with many of the colleagues in this room, and a particularly memorable performance by the USP soprano who's sitting at the back to my left. We've invested in the Mallow Park Student Village, some images to follow, with 1,550 very high-spec student rooms, and a further 16 million in the University Library and Learning Centre. I realise I'm getting older, because when I was in this University Library and Learning Centre, the furniture struck me as being very colourful, comfortable, and people were allowed to talk in the library. I think it was obviously a scandal, and it shows that probably the last time I was in a library was some time ago. Some of the images I mentioned, the Guildford School of Acting. This is popular, obviously, with our performing arts students, but also with errant faculty and administrators who find their way to the ground floor of Starbucks, where they hatch plots and discuss internationalisation. The Performing Arts Centre, I apologise, this image is not quite up to date. The centre has now opened, and many of us were there last year. And a simulated view of the 200-seat black box theatre. Theatre is one of the new areas developed, reasonably new areas developed by the University of Surrey in recent years. I mentioned student accommodation. This is one example of a student accommodation block with the latest in green technologies. It's a very green part of the UK. Of course, the blue sky is a constant feature of... Sorry, I'm lying. I'm lying. And this is, again, the blue sky, remarkably. This is our Surrey Sports Park, obviously part of the University of Surrey, which caters to a range of different sporting activities, elite sports, rugby, which is a strange kind of American football, just to get your own back, down to sports for the less able-bodied and for the local community, and, of course, students. And even members of faculty have been spotted trying to play squash. So I approach the end of this brief overview. There's a question, I think, to be answered, the shape of the future. I think what we're trying to do here, without being messianic about it, is try to make a contribution to the future shape of universities and knowledge, Professor Zagwa's point. What do we need to do at the University of Surrey and perhaps beyond? I think we need to link the world-class student experience with internationalisation of the curriculum, methodology, theory, data samples, and our community, our international student community and our international staff and faculty community. We need to continue to nurture research wherever it is, irrespective of the subject area. We need to consolidate the UPGN as an exemplar of deep multilateralism. Holistic relations across all the disciplines, all levels, in a structured, focused partnership that works with trust and in depth. We need to sustain our preeminent status for graduate employability and drive innovation, and more innovation in teaching, research, and also culture change. And in all of this, we need to act with superior integrity, and nothing less will do. So the shape of the future might just be the networked university. And there is a huge pleasure for me, and privilege, sense of privilege, when I stand up and give presentations on behalf of the network. And these days, my Vice-Chancellor is not around, so I can say this without fear of punishment. It's almost more comfortable representing the network than representing one sole institution, because we're leveraging so much more working together. I'm struck that there is an intertext with some of the comments made by Professor Zagwa, and not least the inscription on the USP logo, which is "Science will prevail." And without coordinating this with Professor Zagwa, I actually went back to one of my favourite statements, which is "Sapere aude," from the work of Immanuel Kant. What is the Enlightenment? We have nothing to lose but our chains. We need to have the courage to acquire knowledge, break boundaries, and innovate, innovate, and innovate. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Colin, for your very, very beautiful and exciting presentation. I think all of us are looking forward to go to Surrey and take part of this partnership. Now I would ask Professor Bailyn Lee to make a presentation of North Carolina State University.
Thank you. I'm going to give a brief overview, but it's difficult to follow what Colin has done for Surrey, right? Here, just to tell you a little bit about the NC State in general way. We're very proud to be part of this University Global Partnership Network. I like the sound of UPGN. Tell you a little bit about the NC State University. We're a land-grant university established in 1887. Let me tell you a little bit about what's a land-grant. Okay. First, a little bit of location. As you know, we're in the middle Atlantic coast area. You see, North Carolina is right here in the middle. We're also located in a strategic place called Research Triangle Park with the other two major universities. But NC State is the largest one as a land-grant university. So what is a land-grant university? In U.S. term, land-grant university is typically a research-intensive university. You know, there are over 4,000 universities at the U.S., but only 2.7% are research-intensive, which is about 90-some university. So NC State, one of the research-intensive university. Land-grant also is a special category of public university, not only in teaching, research, but also significant contribution in extension, engagement, economic development. So we are very much engaged with the community for economic development, for technology transfer, economic development. Basically, the last line, trying to use our innovation, both in education and research, to change people's life. So that's basically a key mission for land-grant university in U.S. university system. Just briefly, some university facts. We have 10 academic colleges, school. We have a bachelor, master, PhD. We do not have a medical school, but we have an excellent veterinary medicine. Okay, so we have offered the doctor of veterinary medicine. Here list 10 colleges. I think we have represent a faculty here from 5 of them, right? Agricultural life science, very strong. Education for teacher training, humanity, social science. I think several faculty were here 2 weeks ago. So they were not here as a part of the delegation. Physical mathematics, we have a faculty here. Management, natural resource, veterinary medicine. You're going to hear some of those detailed presentation about the college. So I'm not going down to the specific kind of research. In textile, we also have one faculty here, engineer, of course. In terms of university, a bigger picture, total budget for last year was $1.25 billion. R&D research development is about 380 million. We have currently total endowment that's over 500 million. We're trying to grow this endowment. In terms of faculty, we have over 2,000 faculty or extension faculty. As a land-grant university, we'll have some faculty who are doing just extension or have some component of their responsibility in extension. We do have 20 members of a national academy, including 10 in National Academy of Science, I have 10 National Academy of Engineer, actually all in the College of Engineer. So we have one National Academy of Medicine, right? Another important factor is that we have 70% of our faculty are actively engaged in sponsored research, which means they apply for the grant from federal government, from state, from private foundation, or industry. We're heavily engaged with industry. In terms of university excellence, as a state university, we've been ranking pretty high in terms of best value. That's a measure the excellent academic program, the very low tuition, right? Because we're heavily supported by state government. So this particular year, we rank number 3 as the best value university. We're being recognized in many other areas, engineer, science, technology. NC State is called STEM university. It's emphasized on STEM, right? Science, technology, engineer, mathematics. Also, our university science part also has been recognized as the best university science part a couple of years ago. In terms of student population, we have over 34,000 students from all, North Carolina as well as the U.S., from 110 countries. We have over about probably now close to 3,500 international students and scholars, including 26 from Brazil. 5 of them are Science Without Borders, so we already have this program ongoing. I will tell you a little bit more of that. In terms of research, again, not going to the detail in terms of discipline because our dean and department head or faculty will tell you this afternoon in your respective session. But in terms of general research, we're ranked number 9 in research expenditure. That's compares all universities without medical school. Because when you have a medical school, that's a totally different picture. But we are very highly ranked in terms of industry-sponsored research, right? We collaborate with a company and they supporting some of the research development. Then we're also ranked pretty high in terms of licensing agreement, right? Lots of patents and industry like to license those patents. In terms of strategic research area, I think it matched very well with what Colin has mentioned. We know USP's strength. Also, you see those major categories. We encourage multidisciplinary research, so they cross all the boundary of academic field, from humanity, social science, all the way to engineer. You see health, well-being, energy and environment, education, innovation, and safety and security. You see those across cutting initiative from advanced material manufacture to computing networking to other area. And we like to have, as a land-grant university, always looking for the economic impact, right? So all those link to the final result. Just some examples, some of the centers in each area. We do have multiple institutes, and we have over 75 research institute or center within university. Here, some of them relate to health and well-being. Okay, obviously, NC State was mathematics and statistics very strong. So our Center for Quantitative Science in biomedicine is very strong. Center for Comparative Medicine and Translational Research, chemical toxicology, health. We also have a global health initiative at NC State across all multiple colleges at the university level. Energy and the environment, I think you're going to hear from our Associate Dean, from engineer to talk about a little bit more in terms of discipline research. But one of the initiatives is future renewable energy. Electric energy, we have a NSF industry center focus on this. Also, we're dealing with other type of energy form. Safety and security, those are also very important research area in different college. Okay. So I'm not going to go over those. Innovation and entrepreneurship, that's a very important part of NC State culture from very early beginning. So we have an entrepreneur initiative across multiple colleges. But a heavy component it's in a college engineer as well as a college of management, whole college of management. Just a few examples of collaborate with the industry for economic development as our third most important mission at the university. NC State has a beautiful Centennial campus with an 18-hole golf course. So it's really a modern facility for research and teaching. A Centennial campus actually is being recognized as a national model for government, business, and the university partnership and research. We have over, right now, probably 75 corporate or government agency located right in the Centennial campus. They interact with a professor, with a student, do internship, and research, sponsor research. So we have our 75 plus NC State Research Center Institute located right in the campus together with a corporate partner as well as a government agency. Okay. So it's really good R&D neighborhood, benefit industry research as well as our student and faculty information exchange. Here are some of those collaborators we have at NC State, like many other university. You can see some of those very familiar names in terms of over 150 partners. Then you're going to hear from our Dean for Med School. This is our biomedical campus, okay, not too far from main campus. It's a national ranked college of veterinary medicine, the home. Also very modern new animal hospital. I think the last time we visited the campus. I'm sure you're going to hear more specific. But technology transfer, that's really a big emphasis for NC State. It's not just discovery in the laboratory, which is also very important, but to move with the next step to technology transfer to industry, government, and startup. Okay, so that's a very key, important component for the university. Just little bit of figure. Last year we have 44 patents, U.S. issue patents, up to date we're about 750 or so. Typically we have 4 or 5 startup company every year. Last year we had 4. Now we have about 40 or so startup company. So they bring in about 5.1 million royalty received last year. Just to give you a few examples of our NC State launched company, new business, SaaS. Many of you probably use their software. It's the world's largest private health software company, right? Cray, they make the LED. That's from our Department of Mechanical Material Science. Yeah, then just a few other examples, biological and a medical device company. Just touch a little bit on international collaboration related to UPGN, right? So this is fit very well with our platform because at NC State we have over the years we have almost 300 and 280 or so agreement with university around the world, and sometimes that's just overwhelming, and also maybe many of them are initiated by one individual faculty or department. So now we're trying to change that, trying to eliminate those very weak, inactive MOU. We're trying to promote strategic partnership, just like this particular one with the University of Surrey, with USP. We're trying to do more strategic partnership. Then given after all the faculty visit, establish collaboration, we'd love to move into the second stage with a joint academic program, dual degree or joint degree or some type of other deeper academic collaboration. So this is a perfect platform for NC State strategic plan to, for our global engagement. Right now we basically trying to focus our strategic partner in major part of the world. You can see, Brazil, USP is right there. So this basically we're trying to focus on the 15 or so strategic partner, most important partner in the world. Then we have our international seeds grant to supporting those strategic partner. And here you see two of them listed here as a join with our partner together. UPGN joint funding, request for proposal sent out a few months ago. I think the deadline, original deadline was the end of March. So we're discussing with this trip in process, we may want to give a little extra time so you go back to have enough time to prepare joint proposal with the funding from all 3 universities or minimum 2 universities to apply for this funding. We also have one with the University of Pretoria in South Africa. I'll just tell you a little bit about our student mobility in terms of, because with the collaboration going on by faculty, the next step is really moving the student back and forth, right? This shows you our undergraduate student study abroad participation. We use our IIE Institute of International Education number. You can see our study abroad number is almost double from a few years ago. Now we have over 20% of undergraduate students study abroad before graduation. Okay, so as a public university, that's pretty good number. But we like to send more students to Brazil. Okay, especially because most of them go to Europe. In terms of total international student enrollment, you can see the numbers being increasing. This is not including the visiting scholar or postdoc. Those are just student. As you can see, most of our students, 99%, are graduate students, which account for almost 30% of our graduate student population. Okay. Now we're trying to increase the undergraduate population. So we launched the Science Without Border last year. Actually, we get approved by December. Right? So we have developed a very specific website just for Brazilian students. Okay. So I have different options because the Science Without Border require 2 semesters plus internship. So we have developed this website for our faculty, different departments. They know what to do, as well as recruiting Brazilian students come to NC State. So they have internship in the middle, semester 1 and semester 2, and a different way. You don't need to remember that website. If you just go to NC State website, search Science Without Border, you'll come over here. Okay. So this is very specific to help our strategic partnership with USP. So in the future, we'd love to have so we establish this relationship as a hosting institution in December. In January, first week of January, we have 4 students showed up. So excellent, and the ones from USP. So they are excellent students with good English, a very strong academic background, and they're also very important. They all love to engage the campus culture. So that's very important to help our U.S. students who otherwise may not study abroad have an international, a culture experience with Brazilian students. So we have proposed more category in terms of undergraduate, semester, internship, but to really create a special category student research program, because especially for graduate students, they are your USP student, for example, but they can come to NC State to do joint research. So, I mean, that's a great mechanism to help you to carry out the joint research proposal. In this trip, for example, if you discover this is a great project, let's work together, guess what? The student, graduate student, or senior undergraduate, they can carry out that research project for you as a team, right? They can send over there, we can send over here. So then also on Thursday, we're going to sign an agreement with for PASPI, which may provide some money for student mobility, also faculty joint research, right? So those are great opportunities in addition to our seed grant. Also, we'd love to host more scholar visit from USP or from SERI to do some more research. So I think we have a great mechanism here. We just need to get to know each other and moving forward. Then we just end with a slide, just tell you, again, this particular mini consortium with those 3 universities, UPGN, we're here to do those 4 things. We have an outline in the beginning of our mission statement. We're going to start with joint research, faculty get to know each other, then we'll move to the academic program development, and the student-faculty exchange will be part of that, very important part. Then eventually like to address some of the innovation, entrepreneurship, tech transfer as our high criteria things. With that, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Bailon Lee. Hearing from you, it becomes clear that our network will be a success. Following our schedule, I will ask Professor Adrien Melges de Andrade to say a little words about USP.
So, it touches to me now to tell something about University of São Paulo. I will start by saying that ours is a new university. It was formed in 1934, but with a much older existing school at that moment. The important fact is that the University of São Paulo was received its name when the humanities were added to the engineering school that was founded at the end of 19th century. The law school that was founded at the beginning of 19th century, and so on. So, University of São Paulo is a public university, meaning that in Brazil, as public universities don't charge. Students pay 0 from the very first day of their undergrad studies up to the day when they receive their PhD degrees. And this is possible because there is a legal, well, it's not a law, but it's very similar to a law. It's a decree that conveys to the University of São Paulo 5% of the total collection of VAT. So to give you an idea, last year, just the, I'm not telling you the money that is got from R&D supporting agents like FAPESP or CNPq or CAPES. Without counting that, this amount last year has been around 2.2 billion US dollars. But we are a large university with 42 colleges in 7 different campuses. As you can see, the blue in the map of São Paulo state, covering about 4% of the area of this country. So, talking about distance, we are at the capital of São Paulo. Piracicaba is our closest campus, which is about 150 kilometers from São Paulo, and the most distant is Ribeirão Preto. where we have eight schools. Yes, where we have 8 schools. And the distance from Sao Paulo to Ribeirão Preto is 340 kilometers. But it's very interesting to have such a variety of schools around the state, because in a city like this, with the greater Sao Paulo is almost 20 million people, this might frighten some student wishing to be studying or doing his research in a smaller city. So we have a variety of choices. Some facts about Brazil, a large country, 8.5 million square kilometers, population about a little less than 200 million. GDP, well, I don't have the latest GDP, but it has increased some 20% in the last 4 years, being about 2% of the world production. Low inflation rate, not so low now, 6.5 last year. 6.5%. Brazil is perhaps in Latin American countries the country that invests more in science and technology. Scientists and researchers in Brazil should be today, at the end of 2011, about 240,000. Scientific papers publication, this is the most recent data we have. Brazil is producing 2.7% of what is produced in the world. And the importance to see the growth. A mere 10 years ago, 12 years ago, we produced 0.5%. So there is a very important growth in the last 10 years. Talking a little bit about São Paulo, 4% of the area of the surface of the country, but with over 20% of the population of Brazil. Our GDP, local São Paulo State GDP is over a third of which is produced in Brazil, and São Paulo State spends more than the rest of the nation, the other states in science and technology, being about 54% of everything that is invested in science technology in Brazil, and the percentage is about 50% of the average we have. Well, publishing papers in Brazil, we provide more than half of the entire nation. It is important to see how, what is the importance of R&D in São Paulo State. If we look the expenditure as a percentage of the GDP, we can see that São Paulo State is applying much more than many countries. I'm talking about São Paulo State only. And the growth of scientific articles output in the recent years is very close to those seen in China and Korea. In percentage, much bigger growth than most of the countries we can see here. So São Paulo State is a good area for research. Articles per scientist in São Paulo State, as you can see, favorable environment for research. If we consider in green, in purple, and blue, 3 moments of our recent history, we can see that the growth is really important. It's dramatic. Now about our university. Our community is large, with almost 88,000 students comprising here. Undergrad, almost 59,000, and postgraduate students, almost 29,000 students. Faculty members today, most updated figure would be 6,200, about faculty members, and technical staff, 16,000. This number may appear enormous, but we have to consider that University of São Paulo runs 4 hospital schools. We have one at this campus with over 2,000 employees, and runs 4 very large museums. University museums perhaps there are no similar in size to those of the University of São Paulo. Well, we are very well placed on the ranks. I wouldn't like to go to detail that, but we cannot complain. This is the campus of São Paulo. Well, the location, the gray spot is satellite gray spot is the city of São Paulo. The city is the greater São Paulo, with an agglomeration of almost 20 million people. And we are located mainly on this campus, where we have most of our colleges, but with the traditional schools like law, medical school, located downtown. This is to see, to give you an idea what is the academic environment of São Paulo University. We have the Butantan Institute, which is our neighbor. We have our Institute of Nuclear and Energetic Research, which has a small nuclear reactor for research purpose only. And we have in red, this is the IPT, very, let's say, very reputed Technological Research Institute. And in yellow, there is in construction a technological park. So the ambience is very favorable for research. This is the São Paulo map with over 1,500 municipalities and the locations of USP facilities. For instance, in the seashore, we have a Marine Biology Center. We have the base for our now 2 research vessels. This is the building of the law school, created in 1827, located downtown. Our Faculty of Medicine, created in 1912. Our College of Agriculture at the campus of Piracicaba, founded in 1901. 2 views here, one from the Faculty of Medicine in Ribeirão Preto, where we can see the tall building is the hospital, and the School of Agronomy in Piracicaba. This is one of the buildings of Polytechnical School of Engineering, created at the end of the 19th century. This is our main campus, where we are located now. São Carlos campus, where we have the second part of the executive committee meeting of UPGN, and colleagues that will visit either the Institute of Chemistry, Institute of Physics, Institute of Mathematics, our second architecture school is there, and the engineering school, which will host our meeting. Again, another picture of the Ribeirão Preto campus, now showing the old building that was formerly a School of Agriculture on the 40s of last century. This is the campus of Bauru. Bauru has a single dentistry school and a very important hospital. A hospital that is international reference on the rehabilitation of face and skull anomalies. It is so important that Per Brandmark, the person who first devised the utilization of titanium implants on human bone, has moved the headquarters of his foundation from Stockholm to be close by this school. This is the Faculty of Animal Science and Food Engineering at the Pirassununga campus. It's an enormous and very beautiful campus with about 8 times bigger than this campus, which is already very large. This is 3.5 million square meters. That one is 24 million square meters. This is our School of Arts, Science and Humanities in São Paulo, very close to the international airport. I don't have the the most interesting picture of our School of Engineering at Lorena campus, where we have mainly chemistry, biotech, and so on. This is a part of my marketing. This is the new building, which is starting this month to be built, 13.5 thousand square meters, devoted to the international diffusion activities. We have a center to our left, Center for Language, 5,000 square meter, amphitheater for 840 people to hold the international events, and in the center we have the building for the Vice Presidency of International Relations, which we expect to accommodate representations of foreign institutions, like the British Council, like the AAD, and many other. This is the most recent acquisition, which had the partial support of FAPESP, is a marine research vessel. This is the list of our 42 colleges in different cities. We have as well the 4 museums: Museum of Zoology, Historical Museum, Museum of Contemporary Art, which has about 9,000 works of art. So by invitation of the São Paulo state government, we are moving the headquarters of this large collection to the Parque de Ibirapuera, which is Central Park. Very nice. And we have the Museum of Archaeology and Ethnology. 4 new buildings are being built at this moment at this campus to hold either the Museum of Zoology and Museum of Archaeology and Ethnology. And we have 6 specialized research institutes for nuclear energy applied to agriculture, Marine Biology Center, Tropical Medicine, Institute for Brazilian Studies, Institute of Advanced Studies, and the Institutes of, now name is being changed to Energy and Environment, IEE. Most of our faculty hold a minimum of a PhD degree, working full-time, more than 80%. Being a large community, like I had the opportunity to show you, almost 90,000 students with almost 30,000 postgraduate studies, we deliver yearly about 2,200 PhD degrees. And we had the honor of commemorate the delivering of 100,000 degrees last year, with about 40,000 PhD degrees. To see the importance of USP on the Brazilian scenario, we can see that the production, scientific production of University of São Paulo is about 22% of everything that is produced in Brazil. Well, it is the location of our Marine Biology Center is very beautiful. It's just in face of the São Sebastião in Ilha Bela Island. And what I'm showing you are when specific research were publicized elsewhere, or with the cover of important magazines, the research being produced at the University of São Paulo. For instance, this number of Science, this issue of Science 2007, it was acknowledged the importance of the bioethanol that was started in Brazil about 30 years ago. And Professor José Godeberg, one of our former rectors, still working at the age of 83, I think, yeah, was the first person to propose the utilization of sugarcane to produce ethanol, which now powers every Brazilian automobile. Every Brazilian automobile runs with 25% of bioethanol produced from sugarcane. Yeah, we have participation on the Antarctic base. some other publications of important papers published by University of São Paulo that resulted in the covers of those important magazines. For instance, the first complete genome sequence was published in the year 2000, the magazine Nature, and was a team composed of several São Paulo state-based universities. Many other. Well, this is just a summary of what I just showed you. We have more than 1,800 research groups, about 230 postgraduate programs, including here masters and PhD. Masters in Brazil, in a certain way in South America, is a research degree. And our undergraduate course totalizing almost 250 different programs. Our main campus sports center. These are some of the pictures belonging to our museum. We have also Picasso and Picasso, Miro, Modigliani. For instance, we have the single self-portrait of Modigliani. He painted dozens, perhaps hundreds, but we have the single self-portrait. So this is the museum, the other side of this street, to head in that direction, but which is moving now. This is the Historical Museum, which is downtown. Some of you had visited the museum yesterday. Our Museum of Zoology, which is a very beautiful museum. It will be moved to this campus. Museum of Minerals, Museum of Archaeology and Ethnology, which will have a new home within 1 year and a half. Our picture of our symphonic orchestra. Our symphonic orchestra received in 2006 the prize of the best Brazilian symphonic orchestra. And I thank you very much for your attention. Proposing now a break of 10 minutes before we have the performance of Professor Shelley Katz, because everybody is a human being. I think that 10 minutes will be very nice to have a break. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. I hope that you can hear me without the microphone. It's a pleasure to see you, and it's a great, great privilege to be able to perform for you today. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I am also proudly a British citizen, so not just Canadian, and particularly pleased that I have that, and that so I can actually declare myself as no longer merely a colonial. Now, today, in the interest of internationalization, I'm going to start the program with some good German music, Bach. Now, Bach was, of course, one of the original musician technologists, just like myself. As you might know, he was a profound advocate of something called the well-tempered clavier. He fought in order to balance the whole tuning of instruments, so that today you can sit down and you can play this instrument, for example, in any key. In Bach's time, there was a lot of argument about whether that was actually such a good idea. And they didn't actually think so, so they only played most things in about 4 keys. I will, however, be playing on a tempered instrument, presumably well-tempered. By the time I finish with Liszt, it might be in a very bad temper, but you'll have to determine that. And the only other thing that I would say is that I'm going to be playing from Bach something called the English Suites. Now, I'm not going to play them all. I'm just going to play, in fact, the prelude from the A minor English Suite. I was going to play a little bit more, but given the time, I thought that we would perhaps truncate it slightly. So I will begin then with a prelude, a German-English prelude in Brazil on a well-tempered clavier in the 21st century. How international can we get? Of course, will know that I seriously truncated that. I've left out about 2/3 of it, but it's just an opening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to go back to Germany, this time to Mozart. This is the B-flat major sonata, and I will play it complete. It's a particularly lovely sonata. I'm sure that many of you might know it, and well, there's much to say about it, except that in sonata form, it starts, of course, with its first theme, as a second theme, which is slightly different. There's this very short development, because we're still with Mozart, and we have the recapitulation in the original key. So it's an ABA form. I'll leave the mathematicians in order to work out what that adds up to. The second movement is actually a kind of a theme and variations. So it's a kind of a rondo structure. Rondos, of course, being A, B, A, C, A, D, and so on and so forth. More math. But in fact, the second movement is, if you like, a slow rondo, and then the third movement is a quick one. just to let you know what's coming, I have a short program in mind for the rest now. So really, there's only now a Beethoven symphony, a Beethoven sonata. There'll be some excerpts from The Ring. That should only last about 5 hours. It's 3 days, so you understand that I've excerpted. And really, we'll have refreshments and the beds brought in so that, all right, just to let you know what the program is, I would now like to be able to offer you a Beethoven sonata. I'd like to offer you as well the Liszt Mephisto Waltz, the first one that he wrote, the most popular. And especially on the program, I have the privilege and the terrifying experience of performing a work by a colleague, one of the faculty and members of the faculty here of USP, Rinaldo Hernandez, who very kindly arranged to send me some of his music, actually about 10 days ago. And so, unfortunately, I won't be able to play it from memory, and I would ask then for a page turner. Now, my proposed order that I propose for you is actually to play the Rinaldo now, and then go to the Beethoven and to the Liszt. The alternative is to do the Beethoven now, and get it out of the way, and then go to the fun part. So I leave it to you. Can I have a show and vote of hands? Should we please go for Beethoven first? Who would like to have the Beethoven first? All right, that looks. And who would like to have the Rinaldo next, then? Oh, well. Then in that case, I'm going to need some assistance from a musical colleague, or at least somebody who can tell when I do this that it's time to turn the page. And I wonder if I could trouble one of the students who was there from yesterday. You can crawl under the piano as well. Now, fortunately, one of the advantages about playing this kind of music is the only 2 people in the room who are going to know, or 3 now, who are going to know whether or not I'm actually playing the correct thing is me, the composer, and the page turner. I'll tell you one small incident, by the way, if I might. I'm just going to take 2 minutes. And I must tell you that I normally do not perform with page turners. I've performed around the world, but I normally consider them anathema, because of the experiences not only of having had page turners who have had excessive amounts of garlic and other things reaching across them. So the famous incident where I had a page turner who was quite a tall individual and had tied his tie quite much too long. And I was playing at this time with a violinist a piece of music that was quite dramatic and very much. And at one point when he was reaching over quite excited in order to turn, his tie was on the keys. Now, I didn't realize that at the time. And of course, when you're going over there to get that note there, you just go and you do what you need. Unfortunately, I caught his tie, which brought his nose around. The trouble is, of course, his first reaction then was to grab the lid of the piano. But then my problem, of course, was that he was going to crush it on my hand, so I went this, of course, and he went like this. By this time, the audience was gone. That's it. They were laughing. The violin is seriously moving. So page turners can be dangerous. You're not wearing a tie. Good. Ladies and gentlemen, Rinaldo. This piece is called... 3 micropesas, and there are 3 pieces, and I will do my best. So, I will start again. He is very kind. I have, fortunately, my bodyguards and the people to escort me out in safety. I wish I had more time in order to be able to really master it. All right, Beethoven Sonata. I've picked a piece that is more commonly and better known, the Appassionata. Now, what's interesting about the Appassionata is that there are many people who actually don't think that it belongs among the sonatas because it's in such a strange structure and it's such a strange piece that many of them don't think that that actually is a sonata. In fact, there are people like Glenn Gould who thought that it should never be performed. Well, I'm performing it. What is interesting is that Beethoven did not call it the Appassionata, he called it La Appassionata. And one presumes that he intended people to be either excited by it, or maybe he thought that people who weren't excited needed to be excited, or maybe he wanted the pianist to be excited. I don't know. But hopefully he'll be that. Now, I should tell you that the first movement is in more or less of a sonata form, and more or less, emphasis on less, but it's there. And the second movement, of course, is a famous theme and variations. I won't be playing the repeats and the variation in the interest of time. And that theme and variations goes directly into the famous third movement, which, depending on the time, I might play with a bit of extra Exxon fuel in there in order to really move forward. The Beethoven Appassionata. Thank you. It's new, dear colleagues. I had planned at this point to play Mephisto Waltz, which is of course the wonderful story of Faust, and it's got the middle section. It's quite beautiful and romantic. Shall I play, Professor? Mephisto Waltz. Ariadne, dear colleagues, thank you very much for the opportunity to entertain you with some devilish music, with some humor. My own training and background is particularly international. I benefit from Russian teachers, brilliant people in the United States who have gifted me with their knowledge and their skill and their training. International Italians, French, Germans, UK, home, Brazil now. And I'm nothing really but the product of my time, and it's a privilege to be able to offer this and hopefully bring you some pleasure. Truly, I thank you really very much for that opportunity. Thank you very much.
So, I don't want to repeat what he did, saying without the microphone, but I will try. I'm very proud to announce that we are planning a joint recording of the UPGN musicians. Charlie Katz, Edelton Broden, and others that we'll be discussing in the coming days. I have the support of my colleague Marco Antonio from the ECA, our School of Communication and Arts, and I hope that for the next meeting we can have already a CD to offer to each one of you. So,